You can stay within a circle until we spread out a little bit. So everybody kind of gets a gist of how to watch that thing. So welcome to a parking lot, everybody. Congrats. You made it. I told you I'd take you to weird spots. This used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. By the way, definitely keep an eye out on your meter. We'll start getting odd spikes in this location.
7.1.
Perfect.
For 1 split second.
Yep, and that's what you want. So
3.1.
now you're not going to give me anything below a 7.1. You're going to keep raising the bar. I have to write all these numbers down. We don't need a whole notebook full of numbers and a number. So again, 7.1 is our new baseline. So I'll take the 3.1 because it is above 2.5. So you get the so let me explain what that numbers. Oh my God, that's going to be so. There we go.
Take it off.
And that wasn't meant for you to like to stop the recording. It was just for me because I have to talk over it. Let me explain EMF real quick just before we actually get into it, since we already had a couple of slight readings. That thing measures electricity in the air. If you're to put Julie's device behind your TV set, which by the way, if I started if anybody's in, I think I get it. All right, so put it behind your TV set, about 40 to 60 milligauss is what you'll see out of that. The little blinky light device that I just pulled out earlier and put it away only goes to 25. You wouldn't even get a reading out of it that's accurate if you were to put it behind your TV set. Put that thing next to your microwave when it's heating up your food, about 150 to 170. The highest we've ever seen that guy go was about a month, maybe a month and a half ago now. It errored out 3 times and stayed in triple digits. We got the hell out of here. The reason why, I actually have epilepsy. There's too much electricity in the air for the guy with the neurological disorder. That's why I called her my safety group. So, figure she's my chatty Cathy. She's definitely going to let me know when things are going on. So, sorry, I'm going to take it all night. So this place, where are we? We're in a parking lot. But it used to be, creating stick men for you guys. But this place used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. The mansion actually sat in front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across. We are standing in the servant slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the land. So who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles, and they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case nobody was paying attention. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know, in the event that Renee's hears the name Charles, that we have a secondary clue so I know which one it is, so we know how to address them. You guys getting the point on that?
But are they going to say Charles 1, Charles 2, Charles 3?
No, but you'll have, there's different things about the different Charleses that obviously it might be their birthday, or so forth and so on. It'll be a secondary clue so we know which one it is. It might even say Charles' father, which means it was Eliza's husband. So we kind of get those points. Now, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than everybody here combined. So we're going to move on. If I don't give those gentlemen that recognition, by the way, they'll do it for me in a very nasty manner through one of the spirit boxes. So I just give it to them every night and we move on. I've heard it. You guys chuckle, but when you get a nasty message, it goes over 13 radio stations that says, please just leave us alone. Yeah, you kind of have to heed that warning a little bit and kind of give this place a break. It is a real thing. So not to like discount your chuckle, because it is a chuckle. But again, you guys get the point.
11.5.
11.5, 9, 1, and 7, 1. Got it. Am I wrong on the 9?
Oh, you said it.
It was 7.3 and
7, 1, 9, 1, 11, 5. I'll write this down in a second. We're going to talk about Eliza real quick, and then we're going to spread you guys out. I'll give you impromptu questions. I'll do a couple of round robins with everybody, and then we'll circle back here so I can give you all the answers to show you how it all tied together. Now, Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from when young ladies got married at the ages of 12 and 14. Think of today's standards. She would have been considered an old maid, by the way, during these times, to be married at that age. And I tell it like that because her husband was over double her age. It was creepy then, it's creepy now. And I don't think I have that age gap among the couples that we actually have here, so I think I'm safe.
7.
Nice. By the way, the average spike for here is between 18 and 22, so we're getting closer. So you guys get the point. Chris is looking at me like, oh my God, what the hell is happening right now? I'm trying to get you guys to work, is what I'm trying to do. Back to Eliza. She married her husband, Charles, because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his children home one last time so he could see them. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here and got married. See, a lot of yawns. I'm going to try to speed through this. Again, history can be long. She stayed here, got married, and it's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card, everybody. We are not a country yet. It is not a thing. So she did marry Charles out of true love. This is a true love story. There's nothing horrific here at all, so please be respectful when we do spread out. Just kind of keep that in mind. And it is a prominent English woman you will be speaking to. Anyway, Eliza was correct. Dad didn't die right away. And instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. Some of you have it on right now, and that's how we use it. When she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from the servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated because it's obviously not warm here all the time. So So when she learned how to keep it going, she learned how to make the dye here and moved it to a cash crop down by the Stoner River. Got a hold of Dad and told him that the rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with this indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial days. It's something absolutely unheard of. Something to be celebrated. So, that's the boring business stuff with Eliza. You guys as John's proved that. So let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are here. So what's going to happen is with every spirit box, I'm going to give you guys a set of impromptu questions. If you decide to go rogue and ask your own questions, be respectful, no yes, no questions. You guys got the point, right? So, we're going to start off with Renee and Tony. You guys are going to have the same set of questions based on the type of spirit box that you have. So you're going to be asking about Eliza's death. So she's pretty open about it. The common questions we get answers to: her age of death, how she died, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Yeah, if that doesn't tell you how important this young lady is, I don't know what will. My next spirit box, where's that? So your word list, you're going to be kind of going after Eliza's maiden name. We're going to keep it nice and simple. The reason why is because she's the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. So his first wife died in January. 5 months later, he married the one I just told you about. So kind of a jerk move if you really think about it. They were both named Eliza and both had a maiden name that started with the letter L. Figure out which Eliza we're dealing with by asking about her maiden name. I know, right? Last but not least, you guys are going to be asking about the mansion. It's not here. The cars are in place of where the mansion once stood. So ask what happened to it. If you get what happened, we will commonly get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. I'm giving you a clue that it wasn't even a tragedy. I want everybody to keep in mind with the 2 cameras and the, what do we got, 4 communication devices plus my voice recording device. If you guys are asking a question, I could get the answer here. Chris can get it on his camera. You guys are getting the point. It can go anywhere. Even if it was just 2 people, and just say, you know, Tiffany and Josh were the only ones here, we would still have a minimum of 2 communication devices. I would have some in my pockets to make sure we're verifying what's actually happening. So that way we never know where it's actually going to go. Has anybody heard or seen anything before I spread you guys out?
Nope.
So what, will mine pick up a car?
Oh yeah. If it's in front of something else, yes, absolutely.
So mine, I'm just looking for
Yeah.
obviously picture drops.
Yeah,
so then
that's
if
the car.
I see
Okay.
something,
It'll be, you'll know. You'll know.
We're hoping that it's going to be a blue color and it's for
Put it on me.
You have to remember it's manifest. It's the right term to use there.
Okay.
So it would be almost like
Yeah.
going into
You'll
the
see
shape
that
of a person.
where there is
But
nobody.
again, you're also kind of keeping
Okay.
an eye on the dot. And I'll be honest with yours. With it being such a small camera, I do send these videos to YouTube so that way I can watch them on a large screen. You guys are going to watch them on your TV, right? So, I mean, when I'm not always following up with that camera because, again, it's not always a real-time thing. Chris is, on the other hand, nice big screen. We're getting ready to update that one to an iPad.
Do I have to ask him questions?
You asked the ghost.
If I'm
Maiden
not following
name?
up with you, I'm
I
going to be
know,
more
but I
following
don't
up
know
with
what
you guys.
questions to ask. Like if they can't be yes or no questions.
Where he gave you some. Where was the fire, or how did your?
I have to figure out Eliza's maiden name.
And what was the last one you said? 26.3?
Are you asking
So
what the maiden
baseline
name
now is
is?
just going to be everything above 25. Fair? All right. So I don't think I have to keep anybody behind. Have you heard anything yet? No? I know you were trying to focus on me because you were...
Elbow surgery.
Surgery.
One in one ear and then I'm
Right.
listening with this
I know,
ear.
it's not easy to do for as fast as I talk. So when we do spread out cameras, just stay away from the vehicles. That's everybody stay away from the vehicles. It looks like we've got about 7 or 8 of them in here still. We've got plenty of little pockets where we can explore. I'll do a round robin to everybody. So I'm going to keep this Julie with me for just a minute so I can show her how to, look at that list when obviously she's in between and I'm with somebody else. So everybody else, go spread out, have fun, quit yawning, and let's
Do you
have...
want me to tell you the number as I have it, or just remember them as I go?
When I come do my round robins, unless you see something in triple digits, that's the
So
only
if
time
I
you need to
see
come to me.
something that then am I talking? Raise your right hand, raise your left hand,
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, if you see something and you're not sure what it is, make sure it's not Tony in the background. It's like, hey, if you're Eliza, raise your right hand for me.
Okay.
See if you can get that reaction. Julie, you got any other numbers for me? 712. Chris, are you getting the gist of how that thing works?
Yeah.
I also want to point out, because there are shadows to your left, this thing will pick up on shadows because that is an absence of light. So it's going to make it look like there's somebody laying on the ground, and it's not. It's just you. Okay. Doc, what have you heard?
Eliza, raise your right hand. That's Julie. Why? Somebody do that?
Yeah, and I guess the ghosts get really mad.
Oh. Raise your right hand. So I'm not picking you up.
You're not picking me.
No, I can't see you at all.
Am I not alive?
I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe you are Eliza.
All these years you thought I was. Fooled you.
Alright guys, let's head to back where we started. So Renee. Julie, any other words since last we spoke? Paul?
I heard hear my voice.
Whoa. I like it. Do we have a disembodied in there?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, a disembodied voice meaning it's not radio chatter. By the way, if you have a camera, go ahead and hit the stop button. I know Chris. Actually, twirling out of my hair down that
Oh, well,
I've actually been thrown out of here before.
Oh, we used to.
We were just
We went.
forced.
No, yeah, but we were way down there. Yeah, but we
Yeah, this, I'm going to tell you actually, because it's actually part of the story of why we go to the next location. It's because I've actually been thrown out of here. She had complaints against me because I was taking my teams all the way through. Yeah, it's actually a good part of the story. Talk to me, what have we heard?
I need help.
I didn't know.
Okay, I like it.
seriously.
No, like it's
They have the same swear box.
yeah.
They're just sharing. Alright, so I need help. What else do we got? Julie, you got anything on your board list?
Witness.
her heathen.
That's the whole night, dear. Everybody's a heathen who we're talking about. What else do you have?
Witness,
What'd you hear?
buried,
Heathen.
major,
Very good.
crimes, counseling, allegation.
Pretty vague stuff.
Just hold it there.
Tony and I were talking, so I know you didn't hear anything. In here, your baseline's going to be an 8. The reason why is because we do have 2 lampposts near us, and the electrical lines may cause it to go up to a 7. So I want to make sure like what we have is validated. So just let me know if you get anything 11, 8. Cameras, if you, Chris is already on it. So I usually tell people try to get a view going one way or the other down an alley. Just keep it at that belly shot and try not to record people. Now I will tell you, if you've never been down here before, if other tours are going to come through, they're going to come out of that ivy wall, Chris. So just be mindful, because again, the halfway point of this is kind of like the cutoff for tours. They will get passersby just walking through as normal tourists, but that's kind of where they'll come out of, is that ivy wall or where we came in at. We just kind of spread the seas and let them pass through kind of mentality.
So what is this that causes?
I love how she's gonna like stand next to me as I tell the whole story.
What is all this?
This is called Philadelphia Alley now. It used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So every ghost tour comes down here. This was the space I was going to take out this year, simply because it is every ghost tour comes here. However, this guy follows me around, so even if I took it out, he's still going to show up at 2 other spots. So why not start where it actually originated? So I'm going to keep it in. Now, here's how this goes. Every ghost tour tells the same exact story, but I give you extra details because you're ghost hunting. You're not on the campfire marshmallow kind of ghost tour. Okay, so again, I always give you those finer details. Here's how it goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you listening to Spirit Boxes right now, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time. It's part of his name. But anyway, he moves down here. Have you guys been down here before? You guys okay, so you've been down this alley? So you know the story?
Not this alley.
Really?
We did a ghost tour, but we were in an alley, but I can't remember which one.
It was this one.
It was this.
Okay, it was
Like
very similar.
99% it was this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so, because it's actually, I think, one of the few that's actually within the confines of where we are actually allowed to go, because there are restrictions. But anyway, Dr. Ladd, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancee, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. So he comes here to Charleston to prove that he's lost after her money. And on his way into town, the coachman he had set him up to be robbed and killed. It's kind of like having a really bad Uber driver today. Yeah, really bad. He's getting that 1 star, I think. But anyway, so there was somebody walking by and seeing what was about to happen. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. I say his name slowly because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. We were getting the letters RI all the time on your guys' spirit boxes, so I bought a new device. It's called an envelope. It's basically a digital Ouija board. So anytime there's an EMF spike, it gives us letters. That's how it works. We've had the letters RI show up here specifically whenever I bring up Ralph's name about half a dozen times in the past year that I've had it. The device is not always productive, so it is not always my first choice to bring out, especially with a group this size. I wait till I have 10 to 12. Moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay with them. They have a room for rent. Doc took him up on the offer, and the 2 gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. Amanda gets wind of this. She's moving down so they could be married, and Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. It's another reason why I was going to take this story out of my route. It's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you're ever going to visit has a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. Yes, that was a joke. You guys didn't find it funny. Renee did. She was waiting for it. But again, that's the reason why I was going to take this out, because I hate cliches. Let's get on to the duel. Ralph and Dr. Ladd go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So, on the way home from seeing Richard III, they're arguing over the new actress that they just saw that was here in town. Doc thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly, and they went their separate ways. I already told you Ralph has friends around here, so he goes to his friends at the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit. Doc saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. Somebody's gonna die. We should all keep in mind that this stupid argument started over an actress. Yeah, kind of dumb. So they came down, back to back, took their 10 paces away from each other, turned, Doc points his gun in the air, shoots his 1 bullet from his flintlock. He only has 1 bullet because that's the way dueling works, right? He didn't want to kill his friend, he just needed the courage to show up to the fight. which is often what happens out of the duel. However, Ralph still has. Yep, just proving his point. Just didn't want to kill him. But Ralph has his one bullet still. He puts it in the kneecap of the doc. The doc didn't die either. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Let me point out two things. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds were different back then than what we know of them now. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning, and he's a doctor, so he probably just tried to bleed it out himself. But obviously, he failed, because he died. Now, every ghost tour will tell you, listen for the whistles while you're here. No matter what time of day you're here, or day of the week, or what month that you're here, it is usually this quiet, just so you know, kind of eerie. It is very easy to be able to find whistles down here if you're using your voice recorders from your phone, simply because all the locals know this damn story. If you're going to walk through here with your phone recorders all the way through, keep in mind you have a couple coming through. Can you lower your camera for me?
Sure.
Yeah, just kind of grab it by that top handle, and then just kind of lower it at your side. Perfect. Sorry, not to like tell a grown man how to hold a camera. Just get the point. People get really weirded out. But anyway, every local that walks up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. I'm included, especially since I got thrown out of here. They're not up here yet. But let's kind of talk about how I got thrown out. That's the fun part of the story. This alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there. And that wall was up there because this used to be called Cow Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. We're going to see where this couple goes. You guys picked a perfect alley for this time of night. So, with this being called Cow Alley, this is where they kept the livestock, where the cows, goats, and chickens were all being held. So that means that the bricks down on the other side, kind of like where you guys were on that other tour, those bricks are older than the ones you're standing on. They're sun-dried bricks from slave children. It's a full handprint from a slave child down there and fingerprint swipes and others. And I used to take my groups all the way through here to show them that handprint for a history lesson. You guys already know how I feel about graves and cemeteries. That's the last place you're going to find that kid that made that handprint. He's not there. November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there, and they're all huddled around that one brick waiting for something to happen with the gear I handed them. I know nothing's going to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because we're also outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful, not realizing I was out of bounds for tours. I was still new at this. We're going to let this group pass through. Yeah, Saturday nights, like, you gotta be here in July. Like, it's constant. There's like 10 interruptions. How you doing, guys? Hello.
Hi.
Hello. See, everybody whistles when they come down. Everybody. So, anyway, the new owner of that mansion came out. He was pissed. He was screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical because she was on the tour that night and her dad's getting yelled at. She was all about it. I know, right? So the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in upper management for Walmart for over 10 years, and you guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving, and you scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving for the rest of my days. The next day was the 28th. I called my partner that I had at the time because I was partnered up with somebody, and I told him what happened with the neighbor. He laughed at me just like my daughter did, and he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. That's the cutoff point for tours that time of night. You got to reroute your group. I'm like, well, damn, I don't know what to do. So that night, I told my team, I don't believe in the next story because I've never had anything happen over there with my gear, and I'm into vampires. I'm not a pirate person. We're about to discuss pirates in case you guys didn't pick up on that. Before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne, and I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. How you doing, guys? Oh, you're good, you're good. So, when I took them up and around the corner and I told them what little bit I did know about pirates, which wasn't much, remember it's only a few hours to do some research, somebody else heard the number 300. I didn't know what that one meant. I wrote it down. I do the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. You guys are giving me the wows. I was actually pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing, which means I can write fiction and nonfiction and do a lot of research. When I'm doing research on anything, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore, which was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, the days of Blackbeard. That's a problem, because when you guys find stuff, that means I have to read more books to validate it. I've read more books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life. I'm just going to put that out there. I played video games based on pirates. I watch a lot of documentaries on pirates. You guys get the point. Now, where we're going, it's a 50-50 roll of the dice if she'll be there. Remember, we're going to get bleed over from Dr. Ladd over there. We're going across the street. We're going to go up and
Dr.
around.
Ladd?
Yes. So it is a very kick-ass story, but remember that everything I tell you about Anne Bonny came from a minimum of 2 resources. So, how you doing? We'll see if she's actually there, but hopefully we get some things about Dr. Ladd over there. We will be able to spread out like what we did back at the Pinkley Mansion site. We will stay out of the way of the other tours because they do like to go and talk about the Powder Magazine in a much different light than what we are going to be looking at the Powder Magazine as. So any other major things that were heard or seen before we leave this space and go talk about Regular Pirates? Nobody got my dad joke. That means I need to take it up a level higher now. I'm sorry, guys, just heard that. So if the letter R is not a pirate's favorite letter, then what is it? Nobody got this? It must be the C. But
We're not very smart.
Turn off the recording or keep her going?
Cameras, it's up to you. We're going up and around the corner. Rich. Julie, word list.
5, lay, exit.
It says 5 and then lay after it.
Yeah.
It's only funny because we do get a lot of sexual terms here based on the story I'm about to tell you. So I'm looking at that as like 5 lay. You know, you guys get a point on this, I hope. Yeah, the innuendo is
Got it.
fine, right? We do get a lot of sexual terms here. Wow. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, she's already on it. She knows her hair. EMF, just so you know, Julia, this is really interesting. In fact, I got 2 Julias here, and you guys came together. But anyway, super interesting to me. I married her first. He was second.
Yeah.
What's the relationship between you? Related to
Okay, wait a minute. Right there. What the
EMF in here is usually non-existent. If you get a 2.5, I'm stoked. Like, I'm super excited. Now,
Okay.
it's normally flat zeros.
Why? Oh, I just got 12.5.
Seen that. It just flashed real quick.
It did.
So,
Very,
again, I can't make this stuff up. You didn't turn it like super quick either. Like, it would pick up the energy from
like
you.
this.
That's
Yeah.
my shadow.
So, I mean,
Oh,
if
it is
you
your
move
shadow.
Like,
Yeah.
like
That's
jerky,
crazy.
It's going to pick up the energy that you're moving. Right.
People
So, could it have been from there?
Here, show them
Possibly.
what's. Oh,
Now,
you
the
can't.
closer
Never
you
mind.
get to the bushes over there, we do have 2 lowered transformers over there and parking meters on the other side. You're probably going to get like a 6 to an 8, somewhere in that bracket. So just kind of keep that in mind wherever we're investigating. So, yeah, we'll keep the cameras on, whatever. So this place, everybody comes here to talk about the Gunpowder Magazine. It's a museum now, serving 7 different wars. We don't need to go into
It's
all
okay.
that. Yeah. But we're here because you guys see the crosses on the side of that?
Yep.
Those are not crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. So, Miss California, you should know what those are, right? Here's the funny thing. Those earthquake bolts, if you don't know what they are, they're turnbuckles. Okay, so they look like that just like on the other side, and if we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, which we have not, by the way, you could turn the turnbuckles, and it's supposed to tighten the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, but that technology is old, and it doesn't work. Okay, there's a reason why we've accelerated way past that, am I correct? So, with
Yeah,
that...
I just put in a deck and we put in like 9-foot concrete pylons into the turns.
Yeah, I hear all kinds of things that you guys put out there because I do see a lot of Californians in the summertime, believe it or not. But we're here simply because those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. Again, they're very crude. If you look at the apartment building, the brick building behind it, it also has earthquake bolts on every single floor, and they're on all 4 sides, which means they crisscross like an X underneath the floorboards or in between the ceiling and floorboards, however you want to look at it. It's very interesting that it doesn't work, but yet it's on a lot of our more modern buildings like after 1900. But those first ones are there because, and it's part of the reason why we're here, that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We're here simply because that building was being constructed at the same time and Bonnie was coming here to start her new life. This is what I call a familiar. Seems like a lot of you watch the TV shows and YouTubers, you've seen that Boo Buddy that they use, right? It's the teddy bear with the little blinky light K2 meter in there to try to attract the child ghost to come out and play with them, right? They do that because the child would recognize the bear as a toy. Think of that concept with the building. We don't have many buildings this old. So the hope here is that she's here at the same time we are. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind where I like to bleed over from Dr. Ladd over here as well. Now, the building was finished in 1713 and took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? Anybody here work for the government that I just pissed off? Apparently it wasn't Chris because he's chuckling over there. I usually piss off somebody once a week about my government jokes, but our history begins right in the middle of its construction. I'm going to speed through this as quickly as possible because you guys are so eager to get back to work, but I will slow down on the twists. We're talking about a female pirate. There's going to be some twists, and I've already told you it's very sexual. So let's get into it, right? 1708, young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far? Anybody not with me? Cool. Good.
Okay, so where's the mother?
3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's not the mother, she's just the wife. The mother is the mistress. Okay, so imagine how pissed off that woman was that she kicked them out of the country with no airplanes. Yeah, they landed here in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach, about 90 minutes north of here. So Dad bought a plantation up there in Georgetown, and Mom died pretty quickly. That means Dad is now sending young Ann down here to Charlestown to sell things from that plantation to keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. Now Ann, back home in Ireland, was said to be a badass even when she was a little girl. They say when she was only 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore that nothing is exact, and you all caught up on something. They say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly when she was only 7 or 8 or 9 years old. I'm just giving you the mentality of this young lady as we move through her story. Now, fast forward. The building finished in 1713. Pirates are coming through town in 1715. Anne is stoked. The reason why, she's going to fall in love with one of these guys so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world during these times. The first guy she fell in love with, and I say first slowly because there's a handful, as we've already kind of pointed out with our 5-lay on the word device. There's a handful, and we're going to go through them all. Then the first guy she fell in love with was James Bond. You're going to see where this one's going because I've already told you her pirate name. Obviously, Dad didn't approve. Oh my God. Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica, they got married, and Cormac became Anne Bonny. That's where the pirate name came from. Now, when they get down there, she realizes her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. That makes him a spy for the British and a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. I'll keep track for you. Now, this guy's named John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you were wondering. Calico Jack has his own ship, he has his own crew. Anne wants to be part of the crew. So, can't put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why?
That makes the crew a little bit
Horny.
It's actually bad luck.
Oh, really?
Oh, like a banana and a fishing boat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's bad
Wait,
luck.
whoa, what? Woman on a fishing boat?
Banana.
Banana.
Oh, a banana?
Yeah.
Don't put bananas on a
Really?
fishing
I've
boat.
never heard that before.
Oh,
Can't get the connector to go in. So, once I'm done with the history, I'll get you some deals. Is that okay? This one was waiting on its renewal anyway. I try to renew these devices every 6 months because they do get used nightly. So, again, you give me an excuse to go spend $1,000. The wife won't be happy, but it is what it is. Now, back to Anne. Oh, so yeah, it's bad luck. So Jack decides he's going to make a deal with her to make her part of the crew. If you dress like the crew and look like my crew, you can be part of them. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland. Right? So she gets it to hide her from his wife. You guys got the point, right? Now, let's put 2 and 2 together. Anne is a female in Jack's quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant, right? So can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. And then they'll get rid of Jack as captain and vote him off. So with that, he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby with these friends of mine. They'll help you out and come back later. We'll figure it out when you get back. She goes and has that baby, returns without a baby. We have no idea what happened to that child, by the way. None of my research and all the books I've ever read has never discovered what happened. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty pissed off. To make him even more pissed off, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. There, down below deck, guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females trying to be pirates dressed as males. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. So Mary and Anne became friends for sure, maybe lovers. We're not really sure because of the time frame, right? But the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of ships to come take down one measly pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates that would come up because they weren't drunk to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks. Right? They're only using their guns because they don't know how to use cannons yet. So they haven't been pirates for very long. 2 ladies with 1-bullet guns cannot take on a whole fleet of Navy ships. They get arrested, and as they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain and beau and says, "Jack, I'm sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up on our communication all the time. I know you and I had it earlier on your word list, very early in the night. But again, I can't count it because we weren't close enough yet. So, again, it shows up all the time. The judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge could give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates in his eyes. He's going to hang them anyway. So they scream out, "We plead our bellies," which means they're claiming to be pregnant. You can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. Very clever of them. So he sends them both back to jail and delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're counting Mary because we don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt because we don't know anything about her that's true after her pirate career. Everything is up for speculative fiction. So Mary Read died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books will tell you that it was something simple like fever. I'm going to say let's make it romantic and call it scurvy. Why the hell not? Now, I'm not going to control this environment like what I did over there at the Pinckney Mansion, handing out all the questions. I'm just going to tell you a few simple things that I left out of what I just told you out of her story. I did not tell you the names of Anne Bonny's parents, the father and the mistress, on purpose. Yes, they're factual. Hopefully you get the names of that. The name of the city where Anne grew up in Ireland. I didn't tell you that either. I didn't tell you the name of Calico Jack's ship, nor the color of her hair. Everything else you want to ask is fair game. And again, if you brought a bottle of rum and you smoke tobacco, have a good time. You'll probably attract her closer to you. I know, right? You would think. A guy like me would carry a bottle of rum with me all the time. So, with that said, ask whatever you guys want to over here. Again, I'll do a couple of round robins. We're going to stay out of the way of the other tourists coming through that come dressed in like crazy outfits like this girl over here. Did I say that out loud? I sure as hell did. So, sorry guys. Before I actually put this on, this is what I was wearing today. Like, this is how we dress. This is just normal attire for me. And actually, I had the vest on before I left the house. And wait, because it's normally in my other computer bag. She's like, "Why are you wearing the vest early?" I'm like, "I don't know. It was hanging up in the bathroom. I decided to put it on early. So if I walk the dogs, everybody knows what the hell I do for a living as I walk through the damn neighborhood. I don't give a shit." So anyway, spread out, have some fun. So you're gonna obviously stick with me. Let's get you a new toy to play with, and let me see what we get. Don't film any other people.
Place in Ireland. Birthplace.
All over here.
Color of her hair, and name of Jack ship. Anything else?
And I just chill out because I probably won't get I'll watch. Okay, cool. I'll be good.
It's getting my shadow.
Chris, did you look up right there and how beautiful that is?
Up here? Oh, the church?
Yeah. Isn't that gorgeous?
Huh? I know. I was like, oh, fuck, that's not good. See, like, I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of shit bouncing around. What are you getting, Jules? Getting any words?
Prosecutor.
Anything weird?
You. No, but is it always going to be at the like? Would there ever be a time where I'd get something up high, up on a rooftop or a fence top or something like that?
As long as it's in, what's the word I'm looking for? Relative size. So, am I expecting a 12-foot tall person to be staring back at me? Absolutely not. Would I expect that size of a person in relation to maybe being like floating above the building on there?
Yeah.
I would love to find that, but it would have to be in that same size and shape.
Okay.
But again, a lot of people, because this has so many different angles to it, like, they're like, there's a ghost on the building. I'm like, no, it's 15 feet tall.
Right.
Like, no, there's no... But yeah, you're absolutely right. And that wall back there is not your friend because of all the leaves on it.
Right,
obviously.
right. Well, every once in a while I'll find something and I'll be like, oh shit, that looks like it.
I've
But
caught certain things here.
but then it's like a street sign with some light behind it or something that
and that's
maybe.
when you can grab somebody else, say your wife,
Mm-hmm.
and basically say, can you go walk around or in front of that street sign, because you don't know if that person is in front of
right.
where that street sign is.
Okay, got it.
We've actually caught something like sitting on top of that garbage can, and to debunk that, because they were about right here, and to debunk that it wasn't the post behind it, like the exit to the parking lot, I
Oh,
actually
sure.
went and stood behind it,
Ah.
like the garbage can
Yeah.
in between, in view, and we still had the person sitting there,
Yeah.
giving us the raise your right hand
Okay.
kind of stuff.
Interesting.
We've got some pretty decent stuff. Like, I mean, the equipment that's in the toolkit now, if I didn't capture something with it, it doesn't stay. It
Yeah.
doesn't stay long. We'll say that. She just wouldn't remember it.
Tony. Gotcha. Raise your right hand.
Anything goofy?
Not yet.
Julie, how are our words coming? You got anything weird on there?
Birth, compliance, winner.
Oh, how long ago did you get pregnant?
10:31. I don't know what time it is right
That's
now.
like winter as in like we're still close to. And Dr. Lab actually wrote poetry.
Oh, really?
It was actually published by his sister after his death. So see why I withhold information from you guys? So you went and looked at that and said, hey, that might be relative. But I do like the word birth unless there's something.
Okay.
Like that's kind of right, you guys. Alright, what do we got? Up like that.
Freezing.
Yeah, that's what I said. Alright, let me see what Renee's got and we might wrap this one up a little bit. there. So, yep. So you pull from the middle. It's actually going to look like. This is a new.
Is he talking about me? But like weird shit
Looks
coming
like
into the
full
camera?
circle, but it rips in the middle, so that way it doesn't ruin Renee's hair. Let's cut that.
So it sits on your ears.
Yep.
That just jacked it. Okay, wait a minute.
Something around that statue. See that?
Yeah, now that. That feels like there's something sitting on
Got
that.
some, Chris?
Is that something is sitting on that statue?
Henry, go to the left, please. You know we could see you in this camera, so if you're over there, go to the left. Your left. Keep it on there for just a minute until we get over there. It could be the shape of the way that bust
Yeah.
is. So, again, until I get that direct response from him, we've had it here. So, again, don't put anything on yet, you guys, just because if I blindfold women, they can walk away. It never looks good, even though they're gentlemen. But other tours may come in here. I'm going to go teach them the history of who we're looking at for 5 minutes. We'll come back and give you a few tips and tricks, okay? All right, let's go learn some quick
Talk amongst
history.
yourselves.
I know. Become besties. Let's do this.
Scripture mean anything? Scripture.
Okay, weird.
Yeah.
All right, everybody come on over
This
this
is
way.
Maybe it's
bouncing
the
around.
gate.
Just, if we're going to get anything else, Chris, while we're closer. It's vague, but yeah, it's there. So everybody's role, we have had triple digits while we've been in this location before during this session, so definitely keep an eye on yours. In the event that I'm not getting answers out of Renee or Tony, the answers might go to you. Okay, so it's okay to just let me know what word you have, just say the word. So you guys are going to know the history. They're not. You're going to stay focused on them the entire time, because I'm not going to repeat this history to them. They're going to want to know what the history is later and how this actually went down. So, Chris, you're like super eager and super all over the place, and I love that. So I want you to keep up with that if you don't mind.
Okay.
Maybe when we're over there, just kind of film where you just were, because we're going to be talking about this guy you were just filming.
Okay.
So we've had, part of the reason why I even have that camera is because somebody brought one of the big ones on my tour. A lot of people bring their own equipment, and we actually had an 8-minute interaction with somebody inside the gate. Like, raise your left hand kind of mentality.
Yeah.
The only time that figure went away,
That's him.
the only time that figure went away was when a woman went over to go shake his hand, and he disappeared. The guy we're about to talk about came from the 1800s. It was probably disrespectful for a woman to offer her hand to be shaken. We never got him back that night, no matter what angle we took. So now, this is, by the way, the first time I came in here, this is the new space for last year. I only had 2 people because it was November. That's when I started looking for my new space, because right after Halloween, you guys get the point. And I was using this guy, and I had somebody listening to one of the red spirit boxes. We weren't doing this blindfold test yet. And I just told the young lady, I don't even know who haunts this space. I just know that every damn ghost tour comes through here. So just tell me what you hear. She heard the year 1828 and the name Henry. I had the name Tim on this guy. This bust is Henry Timrod. He was born in 1828. So it was like, that's an easy one. So hopefully I was going to get more out of him. Here's his very quick story, what you need to know about him. He's a writer, and he's sick for most of his life. Basically, he's old enough to go fight in the Civil War, 1860s. He goes out to the battlefield to fight for the Confederacy. His comrades realize he's too sick to fight. They sent him home, knowing he was a writer, and said, go be the voice of the war. Go tell people what's going on out here. Came home, started writing poetry about what was going on the battlefield, became known as the Laureate of the Confederacy. So a pretty prestigious title, in case you're not familiar with that. He's writing and publishing, and then he has a son. His son's name is Willie. He's born on Christmas Eve, and he dies 9 months later. Yeah, I know. I'm always telling you guys about dead kids. I'm sorry about that, because that's, I think, every story that I tell you except for Dr. Ladd. But anyway, him and his wife Katie are mourning, and he's not writing as much. And he has a friend, Paul Hamilton Hayne. Do you have something? You look like you're about to say something. I'm sorry.
No.
So Paul Hamilton Hayne offers him his cottage because he sees he's not writing as much in the middle of Columbia. That's the middle of the state. So he says, get back on track, leave your wife behind, let her mourn with her parents that were here visiting. He goes out there, it's where he wrote his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality, which translates to, dear person with a short life. And then he coughed, and it landed on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. He died right there, age 38, pen in hand. Perfect way for a writer to go, but we're going to make it even more perfect. That blood stain is the reason why we're here. It looks like a man writing at his desk. We call it the Blood Book. They show it one day a year at the Charleston Library Society. You have to be a member of the society to be able to go see it on Halloween only. It's the only time they bring it out. And it's under glass, of course, because it's tuberculosis. However, internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you what this blood stain looks like, and then we're going to
Have
hopefully...
you been able to go? Have you part of that society?
No. It is very expensive to become part of that society. Here is your blood book. Behold our brief mortality, cough, death. There is your blood stain. That looks like a man writing.
Oh my gosh.
And coughing blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually.
That's crazy.
It does look like he's coughing up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've actually had figures show up underneath Tiffany's device of what she's about to go through in this shape.
Wow.
It's very interesting. I will also tell you that Timrod is he's not happy I'm here. Okay, so he's not like pissed off like he's gonna hurt us or anything, but he's just like why are you here again kind of mentality. Usually it takes me a few minutes, and it's not like he can't hear me right now. So again, you guys all know your role and what we're doing. What's the last word we have?
Monthly.
Interesting. So again, you guys got the gist.
And I'm filming, not them, just around.
You're gonna stay with us, but I want you to kind of like just turn and film around here. I'm curious. I've never done this before, where you were filming this guy and you were filming our people.
No.
Oh, do you know where you're at? You're in George Washington Park.
Oh.
So, again, it probably just didn't pick up all the syllables. Because we've had GW parks like show up through this and they don't know where they're at. So, by the way, I'm going to have you as kind of my volunteer. Because obviously Tony's not going to be able to hear me. And I don't touch our guests. So you're going to help me out with Renee as well.
Okay.
When they're too loud, you're going to tap them on the shoulder. So that way they know to quiet down. They're going to get these
And Tony
cues
will
too.
be loud. Cause
And then when we're done, you're going to tap them on the knee. So that way they know to take off their own gear. Okay, so again, I don't touch
tap
my
him on the
guests.
shoulder to be quiet, knee to take off.
And I'll give you the cues for you.
Oh, okay.
In case I need you. So just need you on standby.
Okay.
Obviously, Tiffany will be able to hear me because she's only wearing a visual headpiece. So yeah, let's go talk to a ghost. Let's see what we can get out of this.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, Chris, we're going to have you come in real nice and tight.
No, I'm telling you, there's
Well, we have obviously what we
something
saw
there?
earlier, but I have
something
to
over
look
there.
at the debunking part of it to make sure it's not the bust. She's all over the place too. So Julie's going to be my volunteer for the 2 of you. Don't worry for it. So in the event that you guys are too loud, which she said you call the yoga, she's going to tap you on the shoulder. Remember,
too loud?
Yeah, we have neighbors. Yeah, so you're going to be repeating whatever you hear in real time, and hopefully it looks like a conversation, because you're not going to be able to hear me. I'm going to be asking questions, and I'm hoping that you two are going to give me the direct answers. That's the whole point of this. If you're too loud, shoulder tap. When we're done, knee tap. That means you take off your own gear. In the event that something goes wrong, you want to use hyperventilating or yeah, you guys get the point. We're going to help you out. Shoulder tap, knee tap, take it off. You got it. Repeat everything you hear, including yes and no questions. The reason why is you don't know what I'm asking. You might be asking
Anything you hear, just say that.
You're going to be seeing visuals. They're obviously going to be talking over you. They don't know that you're talking. 3 descriptions of what you see. 3 people, bench, tree. If they're not saying much, I will ask you probing questions. Okay? So it's going to. Have you ever done virtual reality before?
Yes.
Okay, this is not a 3D world where Jurassic Park is going to eat you. Okay? So you're going to see a galaxy in the distance, and a picture is going to show up in front of it from time to time. You're going to tell us what the picture is. You guys will all be able to see what these pictures are when we're done, because it does save them to the phone, and they do go into your report. So again, it is super interesting, and I do run all of these images through Google Lens in case I miss something. If there's a gun in there, I'm not a gun person. I need Google Lens to tell me what era it's from. You guys get the point of that, right?
Yeah.
So blindfolds for you, and then headphones, and then turn up your spirit boxes to where you can't hear me. And I'll ask you a few simple questions just to make sure you can't hear me. I'll put that on there. I'll let my headphones go back up. Yeah, let's get you over here.
Julie. Julie. Who wants to go over here tight?
Yeah, I don't like the other ghost stories to say what the hell is Nick up to now. Like they all kind of like check that he's doing like blindfold.
Oh, it's so loud.
So, what color is the blue banana?
Tell me when you want to get your
Turn it up.
all the way.
Wait a minute, Jules.
Whatever's comfortable for you. Just to the point where you can't hear me.
Do you want me to start as soon as I hear anything?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Alright, it is 11:15. So 10 minutes is our time frame. Okay, no, Renee can't hear me. step away, that you can tell us the code word just to let us know that you're here. So whatever you do, you're just going to tell us everything else. It will line up with you once you look straight. Just don't look down with the hidden virtual buttons. And then you got an image coming through. Looks like the shadow of a man. See the front? Okay, so just some weird random stuff. Your focus is right here in case this is close. You got it. Henry, I got everybody set up. Now there's a couple of females here on the bench. Not always your preference. But if you can push through and tell us something about your occupation. Dr. Matt, if you're here, I'll need you to just to know that you're here and say nothing else, please. You're not welcome here at this point. Henry, come on. Image that Tiffany has, this looks like the shadow, the silhouette. Can you tell us if that's you or not?
What I said.
Before.
Before what I said. Henry Timrod, let's talk about your occupation, please.
Breadcrumbs.
This is how we always
Support.
start. This is how we always start. We talk about your occupation,
My eyes.
just to verify that you're here. Yes, I have people blindfolded again.
Year.
Realm.
Empty promises.
Henry, will you respect me? Together, that's not.
Myself.
Somebody else come here with you? Or are you alone?
Knowledge.
We're not leaving that. I know you're trying to get as close as we. But I'm leaving that. That's right. Dr. Lackey with you?
Bedroom.
Wow.
Doctor.
Dr. Lack, what's your what's your code word to verify that you're here? The code word for him, by the way, everybody, for him is purple. What purple comes out of these two? 843. That's our area code. I throw those away. Just like Fort Charleston.
Don't stop.
Oh, good. We're not going to.
Terror.
Return.
Anything else specific about the picture?
Carriage.
Long enough.
Wow. By the way, they normally say things the way they hear them. So, long enough. It's kind of like somebody saying you've been here long enough. Like, what is that? Henry, is this your wife? You said you were married. Is this when it showed up? If so, can you give us her name? What's your wife's name?
Anytime. 5979.
Anybody remember Dr.
Can't.
Anybody remember Dr. Ladd's address? 59 Church Street. Right around the corner. Henry, we were asking about your occupation. So we are halfway from. Been here for 5 minutes. And we're trying not to intrude for more than 10.
Past.
We don't intrude for more than 10. Dr. Ladd, what's your code word? Henry Timrod, tell us your occupation.
outrageous.
Besides the galaxy that I put in here for her.
Operator. Ben. Full line Charleston. Today. 50. Music. Yes. Excuse me. Anthony. Backseat.
High bar.
Lawyer. Waiting for you. Music. Challenges in life. Don't know.
You see how I treat this guy? This is nightly. Cool. Again with your wife. How did you meet
Kiss.
your wife? How did you meet your
Your
wife?
kiss.
Kiss again.
DJ.
He was her school teacher. She was 16 years old when they met. Much creepy age gaps, right?
Where they?
They are now. And right?
Hey.
How did you meet your wife? You said the word school.